Damn, man. My favorite rapper of all time? That would have to be Tupac. Tupac has a lot of material. Tupac is slept on. A lot of people think Tupac isn't lyrical, and I don't know why people think that. But not only is Tupac lyrical, he knows how to he knows how to get the best out of everybody. Like when I say that, I mean people that are sad, people that are happy, people that are poor, people that are rich, people that can identify with the streets, people that can't. Everybody has a song that Tupac can identify with. So I think that Tupac is the is the best rapper to me, and he's the most impactful rapper. I don't think any other rapper has a bigger influence than Tupac. So I'd have to go with Pac. Top five favorite producers of all time. Damn, that's a hard one. I'd have to go with. Are we going with 1 through 5 or 5 to 1? Do it matter?
Don't matter.
All right. In no particular, no particular order. My bad. I'm fucking up my words and shit, nigga. High. In no particular order, I'd have to say, Q-Tip, DJ Quick, uh, DJ Premier, um, Dr. Dre, and I'd have to give it to Pete Rock. Q-Tip has produced for Tribe Called Quest, uh, and I think people sleep on Q-Tip a lot. Q-Tip produced pretty much everything that Tribe Called Quest did, and he created a sound that I don't think he gets credit for creating. He created a sound where people could sample records that sound extremely different than, let's say, a traditional soul sample. You know, he made Tribe Called Quest have their own unique sound, and it was a sound a lot of people were trying to emulate for a long time. And Q-Tip is one of those producers where if you ask him for a record, he's not gonna just give you one song. One song. You gotta like. He's one of those producers where you do a whole tape with him, like Ski, or like No ID, or like any of those producers that like you sit down with and you do a whole project with him. Q-Tip is one of those producers, and I respect that. So I had to give it to Q-Tip. He has so much legendary shit under his belt, from Tribe to Nas to Busta Rhymes to you name it. He has classic shit under his belt, and I don't think he gets the credit he deserves for being such a great producer. Damn, that's a good one too. There's been a lot of albums this year. This is a good year. 2017 is a good year. It's one of those years. If you look back, I'd have to say the ones that I like the most in hip hop. 94 was the first big one I can remember. 96 was another big year. Cause I could tell you what came out. Like 94, Illmatic dropped in 94. Um, Outcast, Outcast dropped Aquemini in 94. Uh, no, it was Southern Playalistic. They dropped Southern Playalistic in 94. Um, um, what else dropped in 94, dog? Big's album dropped in 94. Um, 94 is a big year. I think you know where I'm going. 96 was a big year. Reasonable Doubt dropped. It Was Written dropped. That Fuji's album dropped. Um, what else dropped in 96? A lot of big shit dropped in 96 too. And then the next one I remember after that wasn't until 2012. And that was like way later. Drake album dropped. Jay-Z album dropped. Nas album dropped. J. Cole album dropped. Kanye album dropped. Wale album dropped. It was a big year. This year's another big year. 2017 is big. You had Ross dropped an incredible album this year. I think Rick Ross's album is one of my top 5 favorite albums, like in a long time, actually. So you got that Ross album that dropped. You got Jay album is incredible. You got who else dropped a good project this year? Drake dropped a pretty decent project this year. J. Cole's project was trash, but he still dropped this year. Dom Kennedy project, I kind of like it. Who else dropped the album this year? I'd say my favorite album this year would have to be Kendrick's. Kendrick's album is probably my favorite album this year. Yeah, Kendrick. I know we're gonna get a Nas album this year. I know we're gonna get an M album this year. I know we're gonna get another Kanye album this year. No. Kendrick's best album is hands down is Good Kid, Mad City. If we're talking about studio albums, because I like Section 80 too, but I don't think people consider Section 80 an album, right?
No, I thought it was out.
I thought it was an album too, because that's a close one. I think between Section 80 and Good Kid, Mad City, those are his two best projects. But this is close. And a lot of people didn't like To Pimp a Butterfly, but I love that album. That album has a lot of West Coast elements. I think that's why people don't fuck with that album. That album kind of sounds like a Sugar Free album, or mixed with like when Snoop used to work with Parliament. Like, that album just sounds West Coast. So I think that's why a lot of people can't fuck with that album. A lot of people say that's his worst album, but I don't think Kendrick has a bad album. But this Damn is the best project this year so far. Jay's album is a close second. But if we're going with what's my favorite album in 2017, I'm going to say Kendrick. Damn. It takes a lot to make a classic record, but at the same time, it doesn't. Like, a lot of people overthink it sometimes. Like, if you think about some of the more classic songs, you know what I'm saying, some big hit records, you could even go as far to say some of them hooks don't even rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Like Two of America's Most Wanted. That's a big record. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing but a gangsta party. That's the hook. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So I feel like a lot of records are like just big just because they're big hit records. You know what I'm saying? It's just a smash record. Like, it takes, I think the first element is a beat that forms a marriage with the person that's on it. You know, the person and the beat have to match. If the person and the beat match perfectly, like I said, it has to be literally like a marriage where that person is like destined to be on that beat. That's the first. And I think everything after that just depends on what's being said and at what time. Like, I don't know, it takes a lot, but it takes a little. Like I said, sometimes you don't even gotta have your hook rhyme. California Love is another big record, and the hook doesn't rhyme. The only part in the hook that rhymes is City of Compton, we keep it rocking. That's it. All the other parts don't even rhyme. So I feel like a lot of big records like just are hit records because of the beat and the person on them, and then what they're saying and at what time. Like, California Love was big because Pac was talking about California at a time where a lot of people were moving to California. A lot of people didn't know about California rap at the time. East Coast was big and California wasn't really big, so it was an introduction of what California was like. So I think that's a big factor too. That's some funny shit. Bill Maher calling himself a house nigga doesn't really get on my nerves. I've talked to a few people where they were like, yeah, that shit is, he's wrong for that. He should get fired, all types of bullshit. I don't think Bill Maher should get fired for calling himself that. For one, it wasn't, I mean, like I said, I know people are going to get on me, but it wasn't directly offensive to black people besides him saying the word, you know? He wasn't calling black people a nigga, he was calling himself a nigga. Not only was he calling himself a nigga, he was calling himself a house nigga, which a lot of people don't know, but that's like a not good term, you know what I'm saying? Black people don't consider themselves, at least black people now, that's not something to be proud of, to be a house nigga. House niggas were the ones that were like, you know, like yes massa and all that type of shit. Field niggas was the one out there doing the work, talking the shit, like behind the masses back, trying to figure out a way out this motherfucker. They were the rebels. So he was saying something like, and not only that, house niggas were the ones that were weak. They were the weaker ones. Field niggas were the ones that were stronger. So he's calling himself weak pretty much. The person I think said in the interview some shit like, you need to come work in the fields with us or some shit, right? So the nigga was like, yeah, come work in the fields. And goddamn Bill Maher was like, nah, I can't do that. I'm a house nigga, meaning I'm too much of a bitch to work in the field. So he was like saying I'm a bitch pretty much. So I think that alone makes me not offended. If you were like every black person in here is a nigger, then I'd be like, alright, yo, he gotta go. But for one, how he said it, the context of what he said, and him being a comedian also plays into it. If it was like a serious if it was Bill O'Reilly saying it, it would be different. But it's Bill Maher. Bill Maher is a comedian. Bill Maher is not Bill O'Reilly. He's fucking Bill Maher. He has a fucking comedy show on whatever platform he has. So I feel like that plays into it too. And I don't want comedians to have a boundary where they can't say certain shit. So I feel like I'm glad that I'm glad he didn't get fired, because if he got fired, I think it would set an example for the rest of the comedians. Mumble rap, mumble rap is interesting. I heard a Sway interview, and on this interview, he was saying that mumble rap should have its own category, and mumble rappers shouldn't be considered rappers. They should have their own genre. And I don't agree with that, because I feel like if mumble rap became its own category, I feel like rap would get pushed to the side. You know what I'm saying? And there'd be a lot more mumble rappers, and whatever genre they decide to call that would take over, and traditional rap would be extinct in a way. So I don't want that to happen. I feel like mumble rap in particular isn't for me. I do respect what they doing, but I don't fuck with mumble rap itself. I feel like it's saturating the culture right now, and there's too much of it. There needs to be more balance. A lot of them sound the same, and that's my problem with it. It's not particularly like what it is, because I grew up on ignorant shit. I fuck with ignorant shit, but it's like how all of them sound like pretty much the same. I don't really like that, so I stay listening to what I listen to, but mumble rap isn't one of the things I listen to. I love Big Baller Brand. I love it. I feel like LeVar Ball is like the type of father that a lot of athletes should have had. I feel like if LeBron had a pops like LeVar Ball, he'd be a lot farther than he is. Big Baller Brand itself, with the shoes being expensive, I feel like that's like hustling, like ultimate hustler. Like you gotta be a different kind of hustler to sell your shoes for $500, and nobody really know who you are like that. People know who you are, but as far as a shoe brand, like you're a nobody. So I feel like to put your first shoe out at $500, that's hustling. And I don't know how much he's selling, but even if you sell one pair of shoes at $500 and this is your first shoe, that's something, you know. So I feel like that's a good thing. What he's doing, I'm not finna buy none of that shit. That shit way too expensive for me, and it don't really look that tight if you ask me. But that's just my opinion. I don't really like the way they look. And $500, nigga, is goddamn half my rent almost in this motherfucker. What I look like walking around with a $500 pair of shoes on. You probably not gonna wear them if you buy a $500 pair of shoes. You probably just gonna stack them in your closet or some shit just to say you got them. And I'm not that type of nigga, so I wouldn't buy them. But I do think it's a power move. I think he's hustling. So I shout out to LeVar Ball. That's a good question. I don't dab because I don't know. That's just not me. I'm more of a blunt guy, so I like smoking blunts. But As far as my favorite type of weed, I'd have to say probably Tahoe OG. I fuck with Tahoe OG tough. I haven't found any in a while, any good Tahoe OG in a while, so I'm looking for some good Tahoe OG. I'm an OG guy, period, but I don't want to be cliche and just say OG or be boring and shit. So, like I said, Tahoe OG is one of my favorites. I fuck with this shit called Blue Dynamite that I haven't had for a while. That shit was super dang. I fuck with some shit called Bull Rider. I haven't had that shit in a minute. So, yeah, there's a bunch of strains where the best ones, the ones that I like the most, usually are the ones that I can't find too often, and the ones that are rare. So, like I said, Blue Dynamite and Bull Rider are my probably two favorites. But if I'm going with one that I can find pretty often, I have to say Tahoe OG. Man, that shit would be dope. I gotta see what I could do about that. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get my feet in it one day. It's not going nowhere, obviously. Now that it's legal, it's just gonna make it easier for me to do something. But I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do yet. But I know I'm gonna be in that industry, being a weed connoisseur myself. I started smoking. I started smoking weed when I was, I'd say, 18. The first hit I've ever taken, I was 17 years old, and I didn't like it back then. But that next year, I think I got into it. I got my med card when I was 18, and I just started smoking ever since then. So it's been, I'm 25 now, about to be 26. So 8 years. My bad. Math is off and shit, but yeah, 8 years. So I'm baby lung still. Yeah, for sure. I can spit some. I can spit some. Alright. Plotting on ways to get my bank up, cause bill collector stressing and my mama just went bankrupt. The plan is a couple $100,000 so my trouble can decrease and my profit can expand. I take them back on some 1998 shit, borrowing my brother's shoes, fucking up his K-Swiss. That was way before they had me working on this grave shit, hoping that my flows add O's to my pay slip. I'm having daydreams of pay schemes and I ain't been the same since my cousin died at 18. I draw like Andy Warhol when Reaper hit me. And if I'm eating, all my niggas eating with me. Yeah, do it to him. J. Hill, nigga, and I been spitting fluid to him. Cause my shit gon' run like the ocean. I'm floating on any bitch nigga who promoting that garbage. Y'all niggas know I spit knowledge. Every day it's like I'm taking these niggas to college and they learning. And my pen is burning every time I hit the earning. I'm tryna get more. I'm tryna get money. Yeah, nigga, ain't shit funny, cause I'm about to get rich on these bitch ass niggas. Cause I'm about to get rich on these bitch ass niggas. And I'm tryna get paid every day, every minute. What you say, I get it every way. I'ma get it now, get it later. Y'all niggas know I'm lifting like an elevator on the next flow. Nigga, get more dough, get the checks, go. That's what I'm about, ho. Semi-automatic, Remy Martin addict, 26-year-old getting at the throat of any artist at it. If you doubt me, then I'm hitting you, nigga. That's all I got, but.